Hello, everybody, and welcome to our next lesson. Today's creativity prompt is about creating all kinds of different types of abstract poetry or different ways that you could feature quotes that you like. So, my interpretation is going to be creating blackout poetry, creating found poetry, and then two different ways that we can feature a quote and make it look really interesting and pretty. So, you may have noticed this is actually part of another lesson that we did a little while back. And it is very, very simple to do. All you got to do is create different chaos layers with markers and watercolor. Now, I am actually going to be using 4 different backgrounds that I created in a previous lesson. It's very simple. You're just creating different types of chaos layers or different types of decorative paper. And since they were here, I figured that they would be perfect for my background, which I will use for these different quotes and poetry pieces that I have. So to get started, I have a bunch of different words that I cut out from various magazines or old books or even newsletters that just came in the mail. If there was a particular word that I liked, I would just rip it out and then cut out the words that I wanted to use. I have really, really big words, which might actually be too big for my journal here, but I do have a whole bunch of smaller words. I also have a piece of paper that is just some random scraps that I got in a junk journal package. And then another way is to actually just print out a quote that you like. Now, this was a quote by Pablo Picasso that I have always really enjoyed. Art washes away from the soul the dust of everyday life. And I just thought that that one was really interesting. So, to get started, I am actually going to do my found poetry. Now, this one is very, very simple. All you need to do is cut out different words that you like and then put them together to create something that sounds interesting to you. All right, so I have finally settled on the different spreads that I'm going to use for my page here. So I have my quote arranged from Pablo Picasso. I have also put together my found poetry. And what I decided to go for was the choice is yours to pursue whatever brings life to your day. I don't know, I just thought that sounded really nice. And then for plot twist, this one is actually going to be very simple. I just liked the way that the swirls all around kind of looked kind of crazy and twisty. And so I thought plot twist kind of worked perfectly for it. And lastly, I'm going to show you how to do a little bit of blackout poetry. Now, this is very, very easy to do, and you can do it with just about any piece of paper that you come across. Like I said, this was just a scrap of paper that I got when I ordered a little packet of junk journaling stuff. So there was a bunch of different scraps of paper. And just glancing at it here, I already figured out what I want to use for my quote. So all you need to do is start out with a little pencil here. And let's see, I'm just going to cross out the top here. And I'm not going to cross out this word because I want this word here. Except I actually want that word there. All right, so you may not be able to see it as well in this sliding, but I have crossed out all the words that I don't want and then left open the words that I do. And so after that, I'm going to take a Sharpie and I'm going to do the same thing. Now, this is actually one way to do blackout poetry, just to cross out the words that you have decided not to go with. But one of my personal favorite ways is to draw little boxes around my words. And actually, this pen is a little bit too big. That marker is a little bit too big. So I am going to go back with a smaller marker. And I'm just putting a box around the words I want. And so now my words are a little bit more defined. So next, I'm going to take my Sharpie and go over all the words again. This time, just thicken up my lines. And so that's just one way to do blackout poetry. If you wanted, you could actually put black all the way around the page so that there's no white showing through. But I actually really like the effect of seeing some of the words right underneath. So now that I have all 4 of my different sections planned out and ready to go, I'm going to take a glue stick and paste them all down. All right, so now that I have all my different quotes and my different poetry pasted down, I'm going to take my marker here and just do a little bit of outlining. All right, and so there are 4 different ways that you could either feature quotes or create abstract poetry. And we can't wait to see yours.